Welcome back to the Oblivious Maximus podcast for another episode. I'm one of two hosts, Aaron. Always with me again is
Ben Searle. That's me. I'm always here. Thanks for having me, Aaron.
Pleasure.
Thanks for asking me back.
every week.
And yeah, no Otis.
No Otis. But in replacement of Otis, probably one of the most asked for guests by at least one person in Melbourne. We got Tenaya from Threshold. Yeah.
Yay.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks to Emma,
Yeah. Emma, long-running campaign to get you on the pod.
#1 Threshold
No
fan.
questions today, just a couple of graps I'd like to bring to your attention.
She had them all. She's now on the soundboard.
Just added her in. So thank you for joining us here.
Thank you.
Last time we had you on the podcast was the video in Brisbane of me walking up to you as we just started doing it and just saying like, you want to come be on camera in front of these bins real quick?
Yeah. That was so bad.
Yeah.
I was so anxious that night. I was just like, I don't deserve to be playing that far up on the bill. And I walked around the whole day just like, oh. Someone asked me if I was on drugs.
Oh,
Because I
really?
was just like pacing.
okay.
So nervous. But yeah.
People got to be
Thanks
more
for that.
aware of. Can't just assume people are on drugs.
Yeah. It was pretty-
That was a sick set that day. Like
Yeah,
big
ripped.
response.
Yeah, it was good. I thought I did a shit job, but that's usually every show. I think I did a shit job. So
Mate,
No
you
way.
got to start giving yourself a bit more props.
I'm just not used to playing more than one show in a
Yeah.
row. And
And that was like mid tour.
yeah, the week before we did Sydney and Newcastle, and then I talked the whole drive home from those shows. So that week in between Newcastle and Brisbane, my voice was just fucked. So
Yeah.
that second show in Brisbane hurt a lot, but it was still fun.
Yeah. I truly don't know how I'm ever going to, like, the most shows I've ever played in a row singing is like 4. And I was just like destroyed after it. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to, like, I'd love to talk.
You got to
So-
get on that.
Same.
I got to be chatting afterwards.
Yeah.
You got to get onto that Art of Screaming DVD. What happened to that?
Oh,
They're still around.
streaming.
I think-
Is it Melissa Cross?
Yeah, is that her?
Yeah, I think she just got an Instagram now.
She got an Instagram.
She's had one for a while.
Yeah, I mean, like all people.
I mean,
She
she's
did-
a business. I mean, she has to have one.
Is it called the Zen of Screaming?
Yeah.
Oh, the Zen of Screaming. Sorry.
Apparently, it's not good.
I think you can hear when people have used it.
Yeah.
Like you can hear in their voice. There's
Yeah.
a certain type of screaming that is now, I would say, is like, I could pick it if I hear someone. I'm like, oh, they're doing that
They're doing the
Zen of screaming thing. Like it's because it's like I appreciate that it's like the intention is so that people don't lose their voice.
Yeah.
But like the coolest thing about screaming is losing your voice.
Um,
You sound like a psychopath. Like
Zen of Screaming digital download, $84.99 USD. Fuck.
I've heard that it's
Pretty
very
pricey.
like just talking in circles and it doesn't actually make a lot of sense. I could be totally wrong. I haven't looked at
yeah,
it myself.
I've not used it. I know people who have done it, and I think the thing that most people that I know took away from it is like the breathing stuff, which
Yeah.
is like the huge part about learning how to sing properly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of like breathing, like singing 101. I was about to say breathing 101.
In and out.
Man, some big names on this list of clients here.
Here you go. Lamb of God guy.
36 Crazy Fists. Airborne. Oh, Amity Affliction is on here, but spelt wrong.
How's it spelled?
Amity.
The Amity Affliction. Good on him.
Yeah, I'm not even past the A's yet. Man, there's a lot of...
I think she's done like Slipknot,
Yeah.
Bring Me the Horizon,
Yeah, I just...
pretty much any heavy band that's popular.
Yeah.
Chodos? Is that...
Chiodos?
Chodos? Citizen are on here. Did they do much screaming?
No, I don't think so. That guy's just singing.
Code Orange,
Okay.
Cradle of Filth.
Love Danny
We could
Filth.
go on. Ghostmain.
That surprised me that Danny Filth has led through that.
This was Maroon 5.
Adam Levine had to know. How do I scream?
She's fucking making these up. These people on this list. There's no way Maroon 5 have ever been through this program.
I don't know, man.
Maybe someone like Adam Levine at gmail.com bought it and she was like, that's got to be him.
Chuck it on the site.
It's got to be Maroon 5. Okay, so you haven't signed up for the Zen of Screaming yet.
No.
When did you first give it a go?
Well, so didn't know anything about it. Just thought it was something people just knew how to do. Gave it a crack and I was like, oh, that sounds fucking horrible. And then I just started watching some YouTube videos and figured it out pretty quick. Had some help from Jerry, who used to sing in Honest Crooks.
Oh, yep.
And then I did do some lessons. And
Like proper singing lessons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With Emily from Vox Singing Academy.
Awesome.
The guy who runs that has taught a lot of like heavy bands in Australia how to sing. I don't remember exactly who, but I think like In Heart's Wake,
Right.
the chick from Amel and the Sniffers.
Wonder if he's had to go with the amnesty affliction.
Does he have a webpage like the Zen of Screaming?
There is a list.
There is
a list on the website.
I've always wanted to do singing lessons. I used to sing in a band like a long time ago, and I guess listen to a few like a CD on Spotify or something about warm ups and stuff before I do shows, because otherwise I was just constantly blowing my voice out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like half the time it's just keeping doing it, because I feel like I couldn't really sing the way I sang back when I was like actively playing in a band.
Yeah.
Just because I haven't done it for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a muscle.
Yeah. And the biggest thing for me with it was like finding my voice.
Yeah.
Because that was like the hardest thing for me was I'd only ever done like backing vocals before. And so when you did that, I just like yelled as loud as I could. That was backing vocals. And then when we started recording backing vocals, I was like, oh wait, now I have to try and just sound like what's good behind the main vocal. So that was, what I did in I Exist. And then when we started Mental Cavity and Alex and I were like, oh, I guess we'll both try and sing. Like every record, my voice sounds different because it took me until like the end of the second one to be like, oh, that's how I should sing.
Yeah.
And that's how I don't lose my voice and I can do it like that. I don't need like really to warm up. I warm up into it, but like, you just figure out what is actually suits you and what you can keep up with. And then it like sticks. Then I was able to, after that, like record full records and play shows and things like that without losing my voice.
Yeah.
And how long between like doing those lessons and stuff, was it straight into playing a show? Like, did you have like a deadline that you needed to like meet or was it just like, I want to be able to do this?
It was all very deadline-y at the start. So Sam had already like established the band. It was going to be with him singing.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, that just didn't work out for some reason. And then he asked me to do it. And we'd spoken on and off for years about doing a band together with me singing. And then, it was pretty much like, okay, I want to put a demo out I think it was like in 4 months. It's like, you need to learn how to sing.
Yeah, right.
In this time. So I was sort of getting ready to record while doing the lessons, figuring it all out. But even then, like listening to the demo now, I'm like, wow, that's really bad.
Oh, I mean,
what you said about finding your voice, like I sound so different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that, like the reality, I mean, unfortunately, I would say like by and large, that never ends. Like you'll just forever be like, the week after you finish something, you're like, that was the worst thing I've ever done. Just because. But I think it's the most noticeable with singing because you're not hiding behind a guitar or behind drums or whatever. Like the sound is just you. Like that's the only thing that's there really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I ever am comfortable with an old performance, it's like this year went back and listened to my my show Hammerhead from last year, and already I was like, what the fuck am I doing up there? And I feel like if I ever lose that feeling, I've gone too far up my own ass.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to have a level of like piss taking on yourself to make sure that you can stay grounded, you know?
Yeah. You got to be modest.
Hey.
Modest? Humble?
Yeah. Both.
All of that.
Modesty is good.
Yeah. So with that turn though, so demo comes out. Was the demo out before a show? Or was a show first?
Demo was out first.
Okay.
Because James, who runs New Ethic, was in the band.
Yeah.
So, he put the show on.
Right.
Our first show. So, we were able to, time everything.
Yeah, that's great.
Really well. I think the demo came out maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the first show.
Okay.
So, the timing of everything was
And when are we talking here? This is
only February last year.
Yeah.
So that's such a short time frame to see from that to what the band is now.
Yeah.
Does that feel a bit surreal?
Yeah. Even if it wasn't such a short time period, I think I'd still be like, wow, this is crazy because I didn't think anyone would care. And that was fine. I was fine with that. I just wanted to play to my friends and have fun. And I think the whole time I have been going to shows up until recently, it's been so divided. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just be playing to my friends.
Yeah.
As long as this is a thing. So yeah, it is really surprising that anyone actually likes it to me.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the resounding sentiment that I think a lot of people have talked to us about so far in doing the podcast again, at least, is that we've harped on about it quite a lot, but how the scene and the movements that are happening in it right now are so much different to what other people may have experienced in the past. But I mean, if I'd the example for me right now is doing all this Aglo stuff. If I'd tried to do this band 5 years ago, it would have done nothing. I'm confident because I was doing a band 5 years ago that was basically the same, and it definitely didn't get as good a response. So and all that's changed in that time really is more eyes on it and more people getting involved. And I think obviously COVID had a big hand in uplifting a lot of stuff as well. But I mean, I think I'm kind of a different perspective, but the same place in that I started this thing just a couple of years ago, really, and then people like it. And which is the first time that's ever happened to me, honestly.
Yeah.
It's usually been a slog of people being like, oh, you're that weird band that just plays all the shows. And then over 4 years, then they start to like you.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I mean, I think the cool thing for you guys though is as well, the band sounds quite different to other people too. It's not, it's not really not flavor of the monthy. I don't want to say that, but that there is always a through line, I would say, in Australian hardcore. It moves in trends, obviously, like anything. But I think Threshold is not sitting within that bracket. It's something that's very different, but operates well within the scope of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole reason we wanted to do it, or I wanted to do it and said yes when I got asked, is because I felt there wasn't really anything in the country that I was really vibing with. So we just wanted to do something that we liked. And I've been told a lot recently, a lot of people like it because it appeals to younger and older people.
Sure.
I don't know exactly what that means, but sure.
I mean,
Got it both covered, old and young.
Yeah, I'm just sweet.
People in the middle, they hate it.
Yeah. Contemporaries think it sucks. No, I would agree. I was when when Milky first showed me the stuff that he was doing with you guys, to me, it it sounded like, it didn't sound like a, people's first band. Like it sounded like a well-oiled kind of like figured out cohesive set of songs.
Yeah.
And I think like obviously that you guys had done stuff before he'd been in the band, but I think, I don't think it's a secret that there was like a pretty significant jump for you guys in terms of like the stuff that you started doing then following putting those songs out.
Yeah.
Would you like agree with that?
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff was written before Milky was in the band, and we had actually recorded everything for the EP and it had been mastered.
Yeah.
And then, we changed drummers. And like the first version was good, but it was just a complete different level getting Milky on it.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't listen to this because
He listens to some of them, I know, from him telling me.
I don't need to
But I feel like I've talked
make
about
his
him.
head any bigger.
Yeah. Everyone knows, Milky's
he's
good at drums.
Yes, everyone knows, yes.
He'd be hitting that kit.
Yeah. At Milky Drums. He's uploading videos. Go check him out.
He's got the cam going.
He got the cam.
I don't know what show it was, but I think we were about to play and he literally came over to some guy and was like, you need to move. Like, I've got the drum
You're in the
cam
you're
right
in the shot,
there.
brother.
Yeah.
We've had some fun experiences with the drum cam. Not anything bad, just like a lot of time being put into that, getting the right shot, which, hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
He posted a video recently that featured my favorite gag that I've told at a show in recent times. So I'm getting a little bit of content sort of being in the background. So
Yeah.
That's great.
good for me too.
You should clip it up, put it up as a reel. What if Milky wore that? You know the guy that does the train stuff?
The zoom down on his head.
Oh, the camera.
Yeah, he should wear a head cam. That'd be
Yeah.
sick.
I think it was when you guys played with Napalm Death last year.
Yeah.
He was frantically messaging Nathan Cooper. Need to clarify.
Yep.
Like, oh, can you get here quick? Like, I really need you to take a video of me playing the drums with the thermal camera I bought.
Yep.
And I was like,
He was. Now I hope he listens to this now so he can correct.
This is the clip.
Correct whatever I'm wrong with. He brought a like infrared camera.
yeah.
That he got for work for seeing if like echidnas or something are in like the bushland or something. Like it was
Bilby cam.
Yeah, Bilby cam. And he was like, I just want to see if it works to film me playing drums to see if like
I just want to see if it works.
and like the concept I think in his head was like it'd be him playing it. It'd be like, Predator when he's like
Yeah.
lock it on. It'd be like a heat seeking.
I want to get this for a stand-up clip. That sounds fucking sick as hell. I have a sauna before the show. Straight up on stage.
But I think he actually did put it out to film. But I think it was like he had it too close to him or something, and it was just like a blur of color. Like I don't think anything actually came from it. But before we played, he was like showing me on his phone like how it would work, and I was like, I mean, it's really cool. But
It
like,
is really cool.
we're playing for 23 minutes before Napalm Death.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if people need to see the thermal cam of that, but anyway, like,
I respect it.
yeah,
Yeah.
No one else is doing that.
no, certainly no one else is doing that.
Night vision, gig in the dark.
Enough about Milky though. He got his 5 minutes on air.
When, like, I guess, how did it go from going to shows and being a fan and all that sort of stuff to playing? What was that something you always wanted to do? Was that kind of more of a later thing that came later, or?
I think I always wanted to do it. I mean, like, prior to being into hardcore, I was into like 2400 metalcore
Yep,
bullshit.
sick as hell.
And when I was in that phase of my life, there was like, that was not a thought in my brain that I wanted to do that. And I think getting into hardcore, it's a lot more involved and actually community based. And I was like, okay, cool. Like this is something I want to do. Yeah, for some reason it took me a while. And this is something I've been thinking about a lot lately, okay?
Here we go. Insights with Tenaya.
You know, the band is like kind of like it's getting a bit of traction.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, no one cared who I was before I put on the mask, you know? But in hindsight, I think that like up until doing a band, I was kind of just like hiding in the corner.
Sure.
You know? I'm not really social. I'm not good at talking to people. So I was comfortable doing that.
Sure.
Just like, you know, sticking to my little circle of friends. And yeah, now I don't know, I've become friends with a lot more people this year.
Yeah.
Who I've never thought I would be friends with.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you know, like people want something from me. But I'm like, oh, no, you actually just talk to people now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just pulled you out of your shell. a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good.
yeah, it's forced me to not be so introverted,
Sure.
but not in a way that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think it's I definitely can identify with that. Like before doing stand up, I had my mates and, you know, could talk to people and stuff like that, but I was definitely way more socially anxious.
Yeah.
And then doing stand up and then going through that process, like when I started doing it, I wasn't really trying to be mates with other comics and stuff. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I've already got my friends outside of this, so I don't really need to come here and make friends. And then it was like, really feel awkward at these shows. And it's like, oh, I better start talking to people
Yeah.
to have some friends. And then you feel more comfortable and you're like, it really did change the way that I interacted with it. And now I feel very comfortable chatting to whoever.
Yeah.
But I sort of have to remind myself that I wasn't always like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because I think it's also like, oh, I've done this thing on stage and put myself out there. Chatting to someone at the bar is like whatever after that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, at Kingpin, I was just like, oh, I'm unstoppable now.
I got so much confidence. Try and stop me.
I was talking to so many people. I was talking to the bartenders.
I didn't see you once,
Yeah.
other than when you played.
Dude.
But-
there were so many people I didn't see.
Yeah.
It
Me
was
too.
just so packed.
Yeah.
And what number into Tin Can Tenaya?
Didn't quite get to 10 cans, I don't think.
I know I did because my bank the next day.
I somehow ended up with, actually, you know what? It wasn't cans, but it was definitely vodka sodas.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
I just had an endless supply of drink cards and I don't know where they came from.
I should have hung out with you because
There was a bottle of Modelo in the
Fuck!
green room,
Oh, my
like
God.
the liter bottle, and I was like,
no.
I'm living large today.
I feel like we're just gonna talk shit on the Prince Band Room every episode until the next Kingpin Fest.
But I also feel like this is just going to a pub now.
Oh,
I don't know, like I keep like feeling like I'm going insane where I was like, I swear to God, before I went to the UK, a pint wasn't $15. I swear.
well,
Oh, yeah, it's actually fucked.
the fact that show, again, airing grievances about the Prince Band Room, the cans of alcohol, cans of normal beer, $15.
That's so
A
bad.
can.
that should be illegal.
They cost
Should be.
$2 from the bottle shop.
Yeah.
It's like they don't want people to drink anymore.
And then then downstairs was slightly cheaper because you were getting glasses of beer. But then they had this bizarre setup where you couldn't take the drinks from upstairs downstairs and you couldn't take the drinks from downstairs upstairs. So everyone's getting in strife when they're trying to walk out. They got some weird rules about the balcony there. I don't know.
$15 schooner as well? Was
Yeah.
that?
Like,
Don't know about that.
You should have gone to the wine cellar down the road. That's where Nathan was.
I was getting close.
Yeah.
There was a few times where I was like, well, the group of people that we were with, I was just like, I'm not going to look at my bank for like a week and just hope for the best and just make some choices this week that are a bit leaner.
Yeah.
Like,
Was he in that cellar that is also kind of a bar as well?
I think so.
Yeah, it's an odd setup in there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Things are different down there.
yeah. Don't make us go to St Kilda
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
Society.
I really hope it's not there next year. Sorry to Jake. It was just really weird vibes as well. Like, as soon as the show was done, the security
Get the
guards were
fuck
so fucking rude.
Oh, yeah.
They got to get the club going.
Yeah.
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 Hey, let me tell you, if you run a venue, just let me hang out after. Because you know what I'm going to do? Buy shit tons of piss. More than any random dickhead that you're just letting in for an hour.
Yeah.
It's like Stagehole where they're like, all right, get out. We got to get Taking Back Sunday on. Like,
no.
Right now. I mean, still to this day, the craziest one there was that first big speed show there. And the security guards were wearing speed shirts. And the second they finished, they're like, get the fuck out. Everyone get the fuck out. Like 2 members of Speed in speed shirts. They're like, get out. We got to get these decks up there. Taking Back Sunday's coming on in 2 minutes. We got to. And
we got Disney night on.
We got Pop Punk Goes Crunk, Volume 1. Okay, that's the grievance section of the podcast. Complete. Any other pubs you want to talk shit on?
Hang on, we got one
No
more
questions today, just a couple of gripes I'd like to bring to your attention.
Whoop.
So what's on the cards coming up for Threshold? Big year so far.
Big year. We're playing with Disentomb, Honest Crooks, and Internal Bleeding on
Yeah, sick as
Friday.
hell.
Yes. And Delaquest. That's the last show for the year.
Yeah.
We just really need to focus on writing new music. Yeah, there's nothing really planned, actually. We're just saying no to a lot of stuff right now, which sucks.
But you've done a lot of
stuff. We're trying
stuff.
to lock in.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, nothing exciting to report.
Okay.
And what's the writing process like for you guys?
Back to the grievance section.
So, pretty much like Sam has just written all the music. That's worked so far.
Yeah.
And for some reason, we were like, let's try something different
Great.
this time.
Classic band move.
So bad. So fucking bad.
Yeah, let Milky write the song. See what he comes up with.
I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know either, to be honest.
He's researching cameras.
I got to figure out how to see myself in night vision.
Yeah, he's too busy. So yeah, now it's back to just trying to get Sam to write stuff.
Okay.
Peter's written a couple of songs as well, which are pretty different but still sound like us.
Yep.
I don't do shit except for try to write lyrics and want to combust.
Well, at least in the interim, you can just keep drinking at shows. So,
Yeah. I need to go to more shows that I'm not playing at.
yeah.
10 Can Tenaya.
Yeah. I mean,
Flourish.
that's really been like, someone said a couple weeks ago, asked, how was it going from like being in a band that used to headline shows and then like have to start over? And I was like, it rocks because playing first or second is the coolest thing in the world because
It's so
then
good.
you can just get drunk afterwards.
Yeah. It's so good.
And I think the whole time I was seeking these heights of a band that could headline and do all this stuff. And I've been there and it was fine.
yeah.
But where I really prefer to be is like, just let me play second.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring anything.
Yeah. It was really good.
I'm catching Ubers.
Yeah. Doing the tour was sick. But yeah, I want to drink. I need to play and then drink. And I can't do that if I'm headlining. I cannot drink and then play. It just like, I don't know. I tried it once. Fucked me up really bad.
You'll get there. Give yourself, because
I got to train myself.
yeah,
Yeah.
So you got to play some more shows just to build up the drinking prowess.
Yeah. But what I was going to say was doing that. And then I think the first show after the tour that we did was the speed show, which we opened. We played. I got to relax. I didn't have to do merch.
Rocks.
Drank all the alcohol.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Sick as hell.
Yeah.
You know, it's the little things in life.
It is.
And also, I think the other thing too is like when, you know, as much as I would love this to be my real life, I obviously have to have something that pays for me to survive.
Yeah.
So this just happens outside of that. So I just want to make it the funnest version of everything I can do.
Yeah.
And so I think like, albeit still playing in a band that, I mean, I guess it's people take extortion seriously. I don't know how seriously I'm taking the band extortion, playing 10-second long songs, but I have a great time doing it. And I know that I have a responsibility to play the songs right because people like the songs.
Yeah.
But I've been doing this for long enough now that I can get really, I can get on the tools and still make it work.
You're going full Popeye up there.
Yeah. You give me one can and I'll make this 10-second song work.
There's a great photo of Aaron getting around at the moment.
Which pick?
From that old bar show. The one you put in the chat. With the jaws covered out. You look like Popeye.
Yeah, I do look like Popeye in that photo. We can put it in, I guess.
I need J-Hat here with the camera.
Yeah.
Put it across. He sat in the last episode and just put his phone in front of that camera. Helped us do like
Helped some visuals.
Visuals. You mentioned before a little bit about 2400 metalcore.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up and how did you get into that? And
Yeah.
then what was the transition from that to hardcore like? And what drew you to switching it up?
So I grew up in Sunshine, went to an all-girls Catholic school. I think I was in like year 8 and I heard some girl who I thought was really cool be like, oh yeah, did you hear the new Amity Affliction record? And I was like,
I heard that's
she
not how
wasn't
it's
saying
said.
it to me. Amity.
It's Amity, actually.
She wasn't talking to me, but I was like, what is she talking about?
So you got into music from eavesdropping.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think my granddad had passed away around then. And then, yeah, anyway, eavesdropped, went home, listened to this, and I was like, oh,
Speaking to me.
this resonates with me, man.
Couldn't have worked any better. Sorry for your
R.I.P.
loss.
Granddad. Yeah, and then I think, it was the Young Bloods album, and I'm a very slow learner.
Okay.
So I just listened to that and only that on repeat every day for like a year. And then I was like, oh, in Hearts Wake, Parkway Drive, listening to all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And pretty much was like that until 2016, I think. Ocean Grove was supporting Amity at a show, I believe. And I thought they were sick, loved them instantly. And then I just was trying to figure out what shows they were playing, went to Invasion Fest, saw Rebirth and Blinded. And I was like, wow, this is so different to anything else I've been to. Like, obviously, everything I'd been to up until then was like
concerts,
arenas, festival hall and stuff. And then that was pretty much it. But yeah, as I said, I'm a slow learner. So I was friends with some people from Bang, and they were like, oh, my boyfriend's playing this show at the Tote, come to this. And I was like, yeah, mad. And it was just all beat down bands. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I like this. Yeah, I thought Honest Crooks was like the best band ever.
That's sick.
And I met a lot of people through that. I met Nathan through going to shows. But yeah, I think it's really only been like the last few years where I'm like actually being involved in it.
Yeah.
But I guess that's kind of the way it has to happen. Like I think you said slow, but I think it's sort of most people's progression. It's like, for me, listening to Blood Incantation came from listening to Blink-182. Like it's all connected.
Yeah, it
Like,
gets there.
It's like, and listening to something slightly heavier, because I feel like you show anyone outside of this stuff something really heavy and they're like, how the fuck do you listen to this?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I didn't start listening to this.
Yeah.
I started like listening to this, and you slowly kind of dial it up because, I remember being younger and like someone playing me Converge and I was like, please turn this off. And now it's like, it's like my favorite, it's been a favorite of mine forever.
That's still me now.
Yeah. But it does take time, and it's like, yes, you get introduced to these things very slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also someone though, like I will listen to an album. If I like it, I'm not listening to anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a
actually
bit the
a
same.
problem.
Like
I still do that now, for sure.
because in the age of like the playlist, I'm still very much like, although I'm more leaning that. I was looking through my like Spotify top 100s of the last few years, and like the first ones when they first started doing it on Spotify, it's like one album is the top 10 songs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then a song, and then another full album.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's definitely more of a mix. Like
Yeah.
it's songs from here and there.
Yeah.
But I love an album.
Me too.
I love an album.
I can't beat that. I reckon my Spotify top thing for the last, like, in this group chat that we have, someone some years ago was like, all right, put in your top 10 songs from your thing and we'll make this big playlist so we can see what everyone's been listening to. And I think the first year that we did it, I didn't understand the brief. Well, the brief wasn't explained well enough. So I just put in the top 10 songs and it was just a Crowbar album. And they're like, no, like go further down the list, go to the next one and just put one song. And I was like, well, there's 10 Crowbar songs in there now. So that's what you got.
Yeah, I think I did that last year. I just put the full Military Gun album in.
This is what I've been listening to. I think, another thing that's cool about that stuff though, like getting into this through different ways, then also is another thing that aids in the band that you play in though too, because you then also bring something different to that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's always been like the thing that I've liked the most about particularly bands in Australia is I think they always have like a slightly different edge to bands from, other countries because people get so fixated on things or we're so far from everything else that the influence has to come through other stuff from here as well.
Yeah.
So it makes bands more interesting, I feel like, because they come with different sets of influences. You know? Rather than it just being 5 people who like the same record and now that's the band that they're in,
Yeah.
Like everyone coming in with their different, coming in with Young Bloods and something else will make it very different though,
Yeah. I may or may not have an anchor tattooed on my ankle, but here we are.
It's all right.
I'm here today.
We could find 10 of our friends with
Oh,
an
yeah.
Amity tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I can list like 6 of them off the top of my head. So.
And I guess, like, how do you feel like things are, like, where would you like the band to go? Or is it you just kind of taking it as it comes?
I think just sort of taking it as it comes. I mean, I don't know. I just really want to put out an album just to say I've done that.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a cool thing to do.
Very cool.
Yeah. I'd like to play overseas again. Not just do a one-off show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not really any like set in stone goals. We haven't really spoken about it. But I think we're all just interested in seeing how far we can take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I think like the other thing too is like it's been like a cool year for doing stuff. So to take a spell to build up music and stamina to do it again makes sense. And like I think the other thing too is like I think having some time off from it as well makes people want to see you do it again too. Because I think that was the thing that I found historically that's always like burnt not only the band but burnt me out is like just playing every fucking show and playing all the time, because as soon as you get into that rhythm, you will burn yourself so fast.
Yeah.
And even your own interest in the band will burn so quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to get bored of it or for people to get sick of seeing us.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I think can happen super easily.
Yeah, and particularly when you know, you can't really make too many changes to like a set list, for example, because like these are the songs people like, these are the songs people know.
Yeah.
And at some point you got to like start going, all right, new songs are coming in.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's been nice to actually have more songs.
Yeah.
Not just
play the
have
same
to play
ones
the
over and over.
same 4 fucking songs.
Yeah, I mean, I think like, and there's certain points though, then you probably get to a point at some point. Like, I mean, Extortion now is just like, it's basically a greatest hit set. And then just every time you put something new out, put 3 of those songs in. And then when you get to the next release, then turf those 3 and add 3 new ones in.
You're just recycling.
Yeah. Yeah, just working through them.
Yeah.
But, I think another cool thing this year, for particularly with you guys, was like seeing the difference in some of the shows that you were playing too. Like, it wasn't all just like the same opening thing or the same this or whatever. Like, and you know, like that Brisbane thing, for example, I think like one of the coolest things about that was how the day ended up panning out with bands and being in kind of like little brackets that suited one another quite well. And I mean, and it was really fun for, like, I mean, obviously we have now played a couple shows together, but like having been able to be in a place like that's not Melbourne, but a bunch of bands from here and a bunch of people from here were all there together at the same time. And that was super fun too. So, you know, like I think, and that kind of reflected in the Kingpin thing as well. Like it was kind of like the Melbourne version of that. It almost felt like a little bit. But I mean, you know, the other thing too, then from, I suppose, that Brisbane show until the Kingpin thing, you guys played a bunch of shows. Then probably the most, you know, oft talked about since thing of the day, playing Her Nightmare song with Boehner. pretty rockin' way to cap off that little turn.
Yeah. I don't know how this happened.
I just figured you guys are all posted about Her Nightmare, so you just posted it into existence.
Yeah. Well, Nathan will take credit for this. I don't know. I don't know how he's involved in it, but he's been telling everyone he planted the seeds.
Right.
So credit to him.
With who? Just on his story? Or?
I don't even know.
Into the ether.
Casey works with Boehner.
Yeah.
Casey, who takes photos, Chucky Edge.
Yep.
And I think him and Nathan were conspiring. I think Casey said something to Boehner about, outsiders should cover Her Nightmare. Apparently, I don't know. I wasn't there. Don't take my word for it.
Yeah.
Apparently, Boehner said no, Threshold should do it, and I'll help Tenaya sing it.
There you go.
Whoa.
That could be totally made
Big
up.
tick of approval.
That's what I was told. If that's not true, that's very embarrassing, but that's fine.
Hey, you put it out there now.
That might be an Oblivious Maximus exclusive.
TMZ here, getting the inside scoop.
Yeah, all the Her Nightmare goss.
But yeah, then I asked Luke if he would do it, and he said yes. So yeah, we did it.
It was cool
That's
as hell.
a really fucking hard song to sing.
Yeah.
There's like 2 verses that are almost exactly the same,
Great. Love that.
but 2 words are changed. And when we played it, I was like, fuck, I can't remember which word I'm doing. So I did a mashup.
Yep. Who knows?
Right.
Hopefully no one's listening.
Well,
Just like Parkway Drive, you did a big medley of
I think every show I play with Agla, I'm like, I mean, it's different because you probably can't understand what I'm saying anyway, but there's always like halfway through a line and I'm like, that ain't it. But That's what's coming out. Like,
You just
It's
gotta
hard to-
roll with it.
yeah.
I feel like it's hard to remember lyrics. I'm terrible, particularly other people's lyrics. I can't really remember them.
Yeah.
And I only got good at it when I was playing in a band, remembering lyrics because I wrote it. And
Yeah.
even when I wrote it, I'd be like, what if I played it like a movie in my head? And that's how I started remembering it. I was like, yeah, I gotta go off pictures.
For the life of me, I just cannot remember any words to song. Even if I write them, still can't remember 'em.
Yeah. I get so nervous and like they will start playing a song and I'm sitting there or standing there and I'm like,
What is this?
fuck. What
What's
song is
next?
this?
I can say that never ends. Probably.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Might be something to do with drinking, actually.
Well, maybe I should start drinking before playing.
Yeah, see? That's a positive.
Yeah. At least I would do it with confidence then.
Yeah. Confidence. That's exactly me. It's very confidently being like, I'm up here. This is what you're getting. That's the end of it.
Most of the time, people don't notice.
No way. No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes just got to say, bang your heads. Everyone loves that.
I'm going to use that one.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Dude, it rocks. When it works, no greater feeling. You feel the most powerful person alive.
I felt pretty powerful when we played at Last Chance and I got on the stage and I said, Last Chance rock and rollers.
And someone went sick, I'm sure.
The people that were in the room, which was about 10 of them, thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters.
They would have loved the venue would have loved it.
I hope they did.
Because it took like 10 years of that venue being called that for people to actually finally call it
Yeah.
Last Chance. Because everyone's like, old public bar.
Yeah, just that place. Yeah, getting a bunch of rockers on your side is one of the great things.
Yeah.
I feel that's something I'm good at now. Teasing people into liking my band.
Yeah.
You got a mic up there. You got to use it. Don't put me up there if you don't want to hear me talk shit.
Yeah. I
I
love
like,
you behind a mic.
Thank you.
I used to like dropping a Who's Going Psycho Tonight.
That's good.
That was a fun one.
All right. Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, but quickly though, Matt's rocked up on his bike.
Don't know what's going on here.
See you, Matt.
Yeah, we're giving this soundboard a workout.
I gotta get I realized if I delete the app, I get the 20 plays again. So every week I gotta reinstall it.
Delete and start over.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming and chatting with us.
Thank you.
We'll probably do this again. We'll probably come up to you at a show again now that we bought a camera.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the time we put this on the internet, people will be able to listen to it because we've had a
Technical
technical difficulty with SoundCloud this week.
Oh, dear.
Nightmare stuff.
So we're off Spotify at the minute, but we'll be back. I don't know when. Whenever Spotify fixes the problem
Well, we're
they've made.
recording 4 episodes this week, so we better figure it out.
We'll get online, otherwise just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe this is where we finally get the YouTube really cranking.
Yeah.
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 There's no other way. You can only get it on YouTube.
But thanks for joining us, Tenaya.
Thank you.
Fun as always. Anything you want to say to the rockers out there?
Anything you want to say specifically to Emma?
Thank you for being my number one fan.
Lovely.
No more speak pipe for you.
It's an intervention.
All right. Thanks today.
Thank you guys.
See you, mate. Bye.
Bye.